Welcome back. I'm Tedward. We're no longer in beautiful, sunny Southern California. This is New England, the reality of snowstorms and salt. And the GX is absolutely caked in disgusting road salt. It's awful. And the tricky thing is, look at this. This came out of this front wheel well the other day. Oh, that's what's getting stuck. I was taking a right-hand corner and I could hear it rubbing. I'm like, oh no, what did I hit? I'm realizing it's just buildup on that wheel well. But here's the thing, it's still below freezing. It's about 20, 22 degrees right now. So when you do wash your car, unless you have a nice indoor space like we do at Garage 42, I just haven't been up there for a couple of days, it is difficult to fathom, should I be washing and rinsing my car, because you're gonna wash it and just create an ice tomb. But I do think that we need a bit of a cleanse because this week has been wild. Prelude has consumed my mind. People have gone absolutely insane. So I figured let's take a little therapy drive in the GX. We'll rinse it down, try to get some of the road salt off of this. And thankfully, I did protect myself here because I used a PB Blaster surface shield on the entire frame of the car. So even though salt is connecting to all of that steel, it's probably not doing any damage. But let's get it started and go to the little car wash spot. And I'm probably not the only one with this idea, so I have a feeling when I get there, there's gonna be like a dozen cars there because it's a Saturday. While we let these ribs come down and get some temperature in the oil, yeah, it's indicating 19 degrees as an exterior temperature. Prelude, baby. It's wild. It's so wild. And I don't really believe that the comment section of a YouTube video is necessarily indicative of the actual feelings of the Gen Pub. However, people are mad, like vitriolic. I thought this car might have a little bit of uphill battle just because of its price and because of its power, but I didn't really anticipate the anger that people were going to express. And even though the majority of the articles and videos that I've watched and read about this Prelude have been overall like net positive with a caveat. They're like, oh, the driving experience is great, but, and then they talk about price or power. It doesn't matter, no one's hearing any of that. And so that's why when I make a video where I'm driving the car, having a lot of fun, I even called Chris Amos, the topher, on my drive to say like, are you having as much fun as I am? And he's laughing. He's like, dude, I just made myself sick on this canyon road because this has so much grip. I thought, well, we're in the clear, man. They made a fun car and I'm excited to talk about it because I'm having a good day. And then even though in my video I mentioned price, style, power, not being a stick shift, being a hybrid, all of these things that may go against what the enthusiast wants out of a car, I was really proud to express that it was fun to drive and that you get a Type R suspension and Type R brakes and all these great things. We get the quote unquote slow car fast vibe out of the new Prelude, which as far as I can tell in my comment section has always been a very welcomed experience. However, that is not the case in the comment section. But in addition to that, the comments were just getting to be almost robotic. You know, everyone's saying this very specific, it's overpriced by $10,000, because that would put this car at $32,000 before taxes and destination and all that stuff. So let's just take MSRP to MSRP. But a Civic Si is $31,500. If this Prelude was $32,000, that's a $500 upcharge for a lot more goodies. And I'm aware that doesn't include a 6-speed manual transmission. However, I just think the car is quite a bit more premium than a Civic Si. I believe it's overpriced by maybe like $4,000. I think it should kind of start at that $38,000 mark. And I think that would have taken care of pretty much everything. I don't think people would be complaining. $10,000 just seems a little excessive. The other thing that has really been illuminating for me in this is that just because I had a fun time in the car and had kind of an upbeat attitude during the drive, doesn't mean I didn't highlight like at least a dozen things that I was critical about. I always try to put myself in the position of a buyer and say, like, you know, if you need a 6-speed, this is out. If you can't swing this price, it's out. If you wanted power seats or a heated steering wheel, you're out. Like, this is already done. If you don't want a hybrid, you're out. But because I don't say these things in a really vitriolic, angry, it's taken as me being like sympathetic, apathetic, or even overjoyed about these shortcomings. And I don't think it's my job to be angry. I think it's my job to report and to be honest. And I think I do that. You know, one of the first things I noticed about this Tesla, it can't figure out a line. Back there, buddy. Anyway, that's rude of me. See, maybe I do have some anger in me. Is that what you wanted to see in the Prelude review? But there were some surprises in that drive, because trust me, the reason I was glad I wasn't on record saying negative things about the S Plus system or the hybrid system was because I thought it really was integrated well. I was shocked. Like, I have to tell you, I got into that car expecting to be like, okay, here's a bunch of gimmicky stuff to pretend we're in an enthusiast vehicle. In fact, I actually thought that the Honda marketing materials didn't help its case, because they kept calling it a simulated 8-speed gearbox, which like is a real deflating sentence for me. But then I drove it and I was like, wow, this actually is dialed in. It actually does do what it's meant to do. Gorgeous color on that Touareg. So anyway, I put up a reel, okay? I put up a reel on Instagram because I wanted to highlight the fact that I was glad that I had not written or spoken any negativity about that car before I drove it. Because the negativity that I wanted to speak, I wanted that negativity to have been from experience, not from speculation. And all I said in that little reel was like, I'm glad I'm not on record speaking negatively about this car before I drove it, and that Honda has made a very fun car to drive. Both of which very easy statements to stand by, in my opinion. The comment section in Instagram is very different than YouTube. It's not quite as bad as TikTok, but it can get a little rough. Anyway, so people got really mad at that, and they got mad at me. And I don't care that they get mad at me, but then it devolved into people fighting with each other. And they're like, this is what's frustrating about the internet, is that it no longer has anything to do with the car. It has to do with, you don't agree with me, so you're evil and bad and paid. You must be paid. From a market research perspective, I think it's fantastic information for Honda to understand, like, whoa, what's going on here? What did you want? What should we have done, or what could we do? Whether that's price or powertrain or whatever the heck. But I don't like waking up to adult men like just belittling each other because they disagree on a power figure or a 6-speed manual, or like, that's not a true enthusiast car because I've dictated that this is what an enthusiast. Okay, like that. Okay, like I want you to have opinions. And I already know that people are going to say, well, we should be able to say whatever we want in these comments and this and that. And like, to some extent, yeah, of course. Like, I don't mind discourse. I don't mind people arguing with each other, but like, it has to be respectful. And if you think that it can just get so unhinged that you're like saying vile, horrible things to each other, like, try that at a bar. Go to a bar, get drunk, and have a fight and see what happens. No one's going to say like, whoa, they're entitled to have this out. Like, no, they're just going to kick you out. I didn't try to rage bait anybody. All I said was the car was fun to drive. And so if that is the low level of communication it takes to get people in like a frenzy with each other, it's just fascinating to me. And honestly, just unfortunate. Look at this like ice tomb that we're in here. Okay, let's try to get this done. All right. Feeling pretty good about that. Ugh. Look at that, my camera's clear again. It's a beautiful thing. Oh my God. We have a relatively clean car again. We're gonna get a snowstorm tomorrow. So I know what I've just done is futile, but if you're a car enthusiast who likes to keep a reasonably clean vehicle, you understand that like, you just have to do it. And I'll go over to Garage 42 and have Ryan do like a proper wash on this thing pretty soon, but I just can't look at caked on salt. It's not great. It's not great. And honestly, this is therapy. It's worth the $6.75 I just spent just to spray it off the car. It means a lot in the sense of emotional well-being. Oh my God. Well, I'm gonna go to the gym because that's mostly how I stay off medication. Anyway, those are my thoughts. This is my little therapy drive. Just kind of what's on my mind. I don't necessarily have a huge point to make. I just think that people are really angry about stuff that's really not that important, I suppose. Like, it's important that someone makes a car. It's important that someone makes affordable things. And I actually think that maybe the market will correct this car down a little bit, and maybe you will be able to negotiate them down to like $38,000, $39,000 for the car if they're not selling. Like, do people not realize they kind of hold the keys to what the price of this car is? Because they're gonna make them and they're gonna need to sell them. And then the choice is really just down to whether or not they keep selling them, right? It's like, if they're not making any money off the product, well then yeah, they're gonna cancel the product. But the product that's been made needs to be sold. So they're gonna sell it. I am doing a really bad job parking here. I'm gonna see, all right, you guys like me, where when you see a car that's parked like this, and I don't mean any offense to this owner, I just see that the wheel is turned. So in my brain, if I park right up against that line, this driver is going to get into that car, throw it in reverse, start driving before straightening the wheel and back into my car. Am I crazy? Is that how you guys feel? I'm gonna repark. Don't judge me. But anyway, thanks for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. Be a good steward of the internet. Be nice, be kind. It's okay if you don't like stuff. It's very, I mean, look, my job is literally telling you about stuff I don't like, but I don't do it in anger. I don't like ridicule people necessarily. I just tell you what I don't like. And if I think something's like valuable or invaluable or this or that, but like, I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you that the car can't be fun because it's $42,000. Like, that's incorrect. That is not the experience that I had with the Prelude. So, but I can tell you, like, yeah, this is really fun, but you're gonna have to pay up for it. And that's kind of every car I drive on my channel. Like, if you want to drive an old Ferrari or Jag or Porsche, like, hey, it's fun, but like, you're gonna have to pay up for it. And then you have to make decisions on whether that's a value you like or not. But like, all you have to do is say, too expensive, I'm out. You don't have to tell someone that their mom is like, okay, we're gonna cut that out. But you don't have to like go after their families and stuff because they liked an experience or they think like, hey, maybe this is okay. I don't know. It's just so nuts. It's so nuts. And maybe I'm missing the point. Maybe this is like a bonding moment in a really angry world. And like, it's fun to be angry about something as trivial as a car instead of like human rights. And maybe that's on me. Maybe I've missed the point that this was like a fun thing to do and everyone should actually just be mad about this because it's fun to be mad about this. Well, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. Let's get out of the misery of winter together. We still have like a good 30 to 60 days of this, and I sincerely hope that I survive it. So don't forget to respect the drive, and I'll see you in the next one.